All right, say hi to Alessandro Longo, also known as Alex L. Alex, can you introduce yourself to our viewers?
Hi, I'm a visual design group member. I'm currently working on human interface guidelines for uh, for KDE mobile apps.
All right, so first off, before starting the interview, do you want to tell us something about KDE, how it's evolving through years, and something about its latest iteration, Plasma 5?
Yes, during the last few years, KDE has experienced a delicate uh, period since it switched from uh, Qt quick controls to QML, then QML to, and currently developers are working on the switch to Wayland. So there are a lot of criticism to the KDE work since there are a lot of bugs. Um, Many bugs depends on drivers, on Qt itself, but with the recent release, the 5.4 and the 5.5 release of Plasma, the situation is really better. In fact, in the Plasma 5.5, you can see a Wayland session that works, basically works.
Yeah, right. So, you already told us what you're doing for the KDE environment. So, do you want to make your role in the KDE world a little more concrete? Um, tell us in one sentence what exactly is your key role in the KDE world.
Yes, I'm a member of a specific group of KDE, the Visual Design Group. It is a group of designers more than developers that focus on the visual stuff behind the KDE work. In fact, we work on a lot of projects, not only Plasma, also on the KDE apps, but also website. So the visual design group role is about the visual stuff of the entire KDE world. My role is about the mobile world. So I'm working on user experience on Plasma Mobile and at this moment on the human interface guidelines. KDE obviously has already complete guidelines about its desktop apps,
Yeah.
but not about mobile app. The mobile world is an entire world with totally different rules, so we need to add a big amount of new guidelines.
So you're working on the KDE mobile human interface guidelines, you said, right? Now, what have you done so far, you and the team you're working with, and what are your feelings about the role of this technology in the KDE world? I'm talking the role of Plasma Mobile in the mainstream KDE or Linux desktop in general world.
Also, the KDE users, the desktop KDE users, made a lot of criticism against the mobile project, since they see an incomplete project on desktop. We have a lot of bugs, as I already mentioned, caused by drivers, etc. But the important thing to understand is that the future of desktop desktop distributions is Wayland, and a lot of work on Wayland is made thanks to the mobile project. In fact, on mobile platforms, we have a better support for Wayland. A platform just needs to support OpenGL-S
Mm-hmm.
to run well Wayland. so we can work better on mobile and port benefits to desktop.
Yeah, right. So, talking of this, I actually have another question about Wayland and the whole transition from Sorg to Wayland. The thing is, you said that working on mobile with Wayland is theoretically easier. You're talking specifically about the ARM architecture, right?
Yes.
All right. But for what I've seen, the big problem with ARM is that the GPU drivers aren't quite available. There are no like binaries or blobs or nothing that you can just put in your system and make the GPU run correctly on that chip. Am I right, or it's just a misconception?
The important thing is that the platform has to support OpenGL S.
Yeah, okay, that's...
So, Wayland do course to OpenGL S, so there aren't so many problems that we instead have with x.org.
All right. That sounds like a reasonable answer.
It's a totally different architecture. If your mobile driver, supports OpenGL, you can use Wayland on it. You need to know that we have libhybrid on mobile platform.
Sorry, what?
That's a library.
Yeah.
That lets you to use drivers developed for Android, but also on other platforms.
Oh, I didn't know this. That's really a great thing. I mean, if you can use the Android drivers, then like you can do basically anything. That's great. That's great. Thank you for teaching me this. I didn't know about it. So let's move on. We've seen, talking about like mobile technologies, we've seen that Ubuntu Touch isn't really particularly successful at this point. What makes you think that KDE Mobile has more chances? What makes it different from Ubuntu Touch?
There are a lot of big advantages in theory. We are planning to add support for Android apps through a project called Shashlik, and our apps we run both on Ubuntu Touch and Plasma Mobile. Also, Ubuntu Touch apps we run on Plasma Mobile. So this makes Plasma Mobile the platform that run all kind of applications.
Yeah, that's kind of obvious, since like Ubuntu Touch apps run on QML, right? That's kind of an obvious thing.
And then we have the convergence. In fact, the convergence idea comes from KDE first, then from Ubuntu.
Really? Really?
Yes.
I thought it was Ubuntu to like put into the game first.
But was discussed first in KDE.
Oh.
In fact, when QML was announced, the first idea was in fact to do the convergence. Then Ubuntu realized it quickly.
Oh.
But the idea of convergence we have in KDE is a little different. In fact, we are not designing a responsive interface that change by device
scale. Let's say that scale, basically, like responsive websites.
This scaling interface could look well on mobile, but not so optimized on desktop. in fact, a lot of users don't want mobile improvement on desktop, like sometimes they like their user experience on desktop. In fact, with Plasma and KDE mobile apps, we want to do different user interface and switch from one node to another when, for example, the phone is connected to a screen and keyboard and mouse. With a totally different interface. I mean, what happened already with the Calligra Suite. You can use Calligra Suite on desktop and switch to a mobile version that is touch oriented.
Oh.
But we maintain the optimized desktop experience.
So you basically let me get it straight. You're basically designing like different kind of interfaces for the same apps. So as you said, Calligra, for example, you have like the same Calligra package that has in the same package like 2 or 3 interfaces. That's a good idea, but I like hear some criticisms on this thing. Like for instance, this would make like interfaces first of all kind of inconsistent because it's the same app and it's inconsistent by itself. And second thing, I think this would make like the whole package heavier. So this may be not a problem for like desktops or devices with lots of storage capacity. But of course, if you have like a phone with 8 gigs of internal memory, this could be a problem, right?
I don't know about performance or about weight of packages, but since QML is designed exactly for that, I suppose that we will not have so many issues with performance.
Right.
About consistencies, I think that the human interface guidelines are a work in progress. So if we write it well and developers will follow it, we should have consistent apps, both on mobile and desktop.
So let's move on to the next question. Now, for what you know, do you have any information about KDE working on their own Linux distribution? Because you know, making a desktop environment is one thing, but making a mobile operating system is another.
About the distribution of KDE software, you could see that there isn't a Plasma mobile distribution. There is a Kubuntu phone or Kubuntu mobile images currently. In future, we could have Arch Linux images, OpenSUSE images, but at the moment, KDE is not providing any distribution like self, caused by recently facts that happen in the FOSS community. Some KDE members are thinking about KDE distributions, but it's just an idea, nothing concrete. From a user point of view, I can say we should have an a KDE distribution, since we have a lot of problems with distributions that don't provide a full KDE experience. Mm-hmm. Yes, we have Kubuntu that made a lot of good work, but also Chagra or Chaos let me know a new approach to the distribution of KDE software. And I think that also the developers could benefit from a distribution made by KDE itself.
I want to ask you something. Like, one of my greatest dreams is to see mainstream desktop Linux adapted to the smartphone. You already partially talked about this, but I mean, like I would like to see a future where I have all my apps, all the apps that I love and use every day, like Dolphin or Kate, or why not, maybe even GIMP and Inkscape in the future, adapted to be used on a smartphone screen while maintaining their core the same. Do you think this is possible?
Yes, and this is what we currently do in KDE. But already with Plasma Active, I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I remember like the days when they made like a ripoff of a Chinese tablet and sold it like for 200-300 euros, something like that.
In that case, the core of the app was the same, but the user interface is different. Also, the Plasma itself don't have different versions of itself. Plasma Active is simply a different configuration of Plasma, not another software.
Yeah.
Also, Plasma Mobile, the currently shell that is just a prototype, is simply a Plasma but with a different configuration. All the work made for Plasma Mobile was made on an understood level, on Queen, on Wayland, but the shell itself is provided by the great components by Plasma.
Probably the greatest thing about KDE is like the fact that Plasma is fluid. You have always had, for what I can remember, workspaces in Plasma, right? They're called workspaces.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the workspaces, and you can have like multiple experiences based on what you have to do, and it's just Plasma in different configurations. As you said, I think this is one of the greatest advantages of KDE and Plasma in general. All right, so I think the interview is like over. Thank you. Do you want to say anything to our viewers, or add anything that you wanted to say to our audience?
Yes. The thing that we are currently developing that is most exciting for me is that the mobile component we are currently designing we work also on Android. So this component will be available not only to Linux distributions users, but also to the entire Android world.
I want to make a comment on this. The fact that you're working on Android too is probably one of the greatest game changers here, and one of the greatest differences from Ubuntu Touch, because you're like actually working on the most popular mobile operating system in the world.
Yes, yes. This is the big difference between the KDE project and the Ubuntu project. Our apps will run entirely on the Android world, and also Android app we can use our components. If we design well our components, we can involve Android developers to use them, and maybe we gain some developers for our platform.
Yeah, I like really see like myself using a Plasma launcher on top of Android. That would be like a great thing.
It's a thing that I'd like to do.
All right, so thank you very much for joining me in this little interview. I really appreciate your participation and your and also I really appreciate the work you're doing along with the rest of the KDE team to bring like new stuff in the Linux world. It's always like a great thing to see. So thank you again for joining me, and I hope to see you around the channel.
You're welcome. Thank you. Ciao to all, see you around.
All right, guys. So before Alessandro goes, as always, this is gonna wrap up this video. Thank you very much for watching. We both really do appreciate it, and if you like this video, please press the thumbs up button, and also remember to subscribe to the channel if you want more of this. You will find the link to Alessandro's blog in the description, and thank you again for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.